Hello, this is our demonstration of Karma, made by Short Source Unlimited. My name is D. Also joined here by Kai, Callum, and Aiden.
So Karma is a decision-making survival game in which the player uh, has a choice in which they can make multiple options. Some of which they are given in by swiping left and right. Somewhat similar to similar games of the genre, like Reigns. Different to Reigns, however, we give our players added layer of strategy in the hold mechanic, in which players, if they decide that a certain card is not viable at the moment, they can hold it for a certain number of turns, uh, in which they can make different decisions. However, the whole card, the held card, will still need to be used eventually, or else it will be not great for the player. Uh, the main aspects of the game revolve around balancing balancing the different factions and making sure that none of them stay too happy or too sad. So on to the main gameplay loop. You can see that the player will be given a card in which they're told to make a decision by swiping the screen. Or swiping the screen, you'll see the scores between the different sides rise and fall depending on whether or not the decision is beneficial to them. And you've got the player thinking if they made the right choice, as they do not know before making the decision which one would be positive or negative overall.
Okay, so now let's take a little look at a vertical slice of the game so that you can get an idea of how it might look. Okay, so this is going to be a technical demo for our game we've been working on called K.A.R.M.A. This is our title screen, which has a simple background and a logo for the game. So if we tap somewhere to start, we get taken to this main menu, which has a few options. So if we go into settings, there isn't a whole lot here apart from the sound effect volume. We can just leave that as it is, but that basically just affects the volume of the sound effects in game. So if we go back to the menu, we can properly show off the gameplay. So as you can see, we took heavy inspiration from Reigns for the layout. The card can go left and right to give a response to the question at hand. And we have 5 stats at the top which need to be kept balanced. We have Heaven, Science, Money, Army, and People. You can see which stat will also be affected by which choice you're about to make. So if I was to go left, then that would affect every single stat. But if I go right, that will only affect Science and Heaven. So if I go here, yeah, every stat got affected by that. But then if I go for one that has less stats having an impact, only those ones will get affected. So there is a third option for our game, which is called holding, which allows you to hold off on answering a card until it's more opportune. This is done by swiping up when you have a card. Now, that doesn't do a whole lot right now, it basically just acts as a neutral card or a card skip, but what our plans for that feature is to have it so that the card is saved so that you can use it at a later time. So let's say, for example, I know that I will get paid for doing this one, which means my money will go up. So if I was to hold this one, now my money is low, so I would be able to bring out that card at a more opportune time and pick, okay, I will take this deal, and then my money will go up. So let's just keep playing for a moment. Okay, so one of our stats got too low. So this is the screen that's treated to you when you either get too low of a stat or too high of a stat. So if we go back to menu, and then that will just allow you to reset the game and start over.
So that was a little vertical slice demonstration of the game. In terms of like its actual design, we had we developed like a little bit of an inspirational mood board. So here we just kind of included some of the icons of the original Reigns game use. So we try to keep something similar and close to how the game was designed. We also tried to stick close to the theme of the Dictator game, keeping the swipe mechanics and everything else in there. In terms of the art style, we did also aim to create something very abstract, so that it just differed a little different to how the rest of the game did their own designs for the cards. So if we move on to the next slide, here we just kind of designed it's just a demonstration of the science flask. So this can have a multiple use. So it'll either depend on the decision the player kind of makes. So they can be used for good, or it can be used for bad purposes. And whatever it is used for, that card will eventually affect every other icon that has been designed for the game. As well as making another little difference to our game to make sure we added something extra. We also plan to include power-ups. So an example here, for instance, this little card here is called Second Chance. And what this does is, if a player reaches like a certain point or a certain limit within the game, depending on how well they get, they will receive like little rewards and power-ups. And Second Chance, for instance, will help the player if they get to a point where they're failing to keep the balance between heaven and science. They get a second chance and an opportunity to continue the game. Was given like a little bit of an extra boost, so they don't actually lose any progress.
Thank you for watching. We welcome any questions.